So one of the main goals that I have with this channel is to provide you the resources you need to make growing carnivorous plants fun and easy. And there is nothing more fun or nothing easier than this plant I'm going to share with you today. Today we're going to talk about the easiest carnivorous plant to grow and why you should own it. So before I touch on the plant that is at the focus of this video today, I want to give an honorable mention to the Venus flytrap. Yes, the Venus flytrap is on one of the easiest plants to grow videos, and there's a reason for that. It's gotten a bad rap for being a very difficult plant to grow, but is in fact very, very easy and a very beginner-friendly plant. You just got to know how to take care of it. Now, I'm not going to touch on that in this video because that is in many other videos, and I want you to go find those or ask me questions, and I will help you. But let's talk about the plant that we all came here for today. One last preamble before we get to the plant that I'm going to showcase today. This is a Drosera capensis. A lot of people will tout that this is the easiest plant to grow in the carnivorous plant world, but I don't believe so. And I'm going to explain to you why and what plant is even better than this one. So without further ado, let's get to the main event. This plant, often overlooked by many carnivorous plant growers, in my mind is the easiest plant to grow. And why, you ask? This is known as Drosera Binata, and it is also considered a weed in the carnivorous plant bog, and it tends to show up just about everywhere. There's a reason for that, and that is because of the ease in which it grows and the amount of veracity in which it grows. There are several different types of Drosera Binata. There is Dichotoma giant, Dichotoma forkleaf, giant forkleaf, Multifida extrema, Evans head. I mean, there is just tons and tons and tons. What they have in common is they are all extremely easy to grow and belong in any carnivorous plant collection, but certainly in the short list of plants to grow if you are in fact a new grower. So let's talk about the why. Why is this such a easy plant to grow, and why does it belong in any new person's collection? Well, it can handle a humongous range of conditions, all the way from below freezing all the way to triple digits. Here in Florida today, it is 97 degrees in the shade, and this thing has not missed a beat. So reason one would be that it can handle a huge range of conditions and requires no care other than just giving it a place to live and getting it set up, which we will talk about now. Now, as far as care goes, when it comes to forgiving environments, these plants are the most forgiving of any carnivorous plant. I provide them 50-50 peat and perlite, and they do just fine. However, I've seen them grow, and I do have them in 100% peat. I've seen these things grow in sphagnum moss. I've seen these things grow in the bottom of just my trays when there's absolutely no soil at all. They absolutely just grow. With that said, they also spread extremely, extremely fast. And I'm going to tell you how they spread. They spread through just about any means you can possibly think of. Some of them are fertile, and so as you can see, they produce a ton of flowers. Not all of these varieties will produce seeds, but the ones that do, as you can see, will give you a lot. But have no fear, there is many other ways to get a ton of plants. Leaf cutting. So if I was to take this leaf and pull this off and put it on the soil, as long as that soil stays damp enough, I will get dozens and dozens of plants just off of this little section of leaf. But probably the easiest way to grow these plants is through root cuttings. And you don't even have to be fancy with it. You literally just take their thick roots and you pull them apart. You can have them as small as 1-inch sections, and in about a month you will get a forest of new plants. All of this came from one root, and there's probably 24 plants in there. Now, as far as sunlight goes, I've seen these plants grow in 100% shade, and I've seen them grow in blistering heat and sun. They can handle a wide range of conditions. They will not color up as nice if they're not in the sun, but they certainly will do just fine. I've seen them grow in inside grow tents with just that was all just for Nepenthes, and they've just gone grown. I've even seen them grow fine in soil that wasn't inert. But to give them the proper care that they need, they're going to require an inert soil, which is that 50-50 that I told you about. Now, as far as watering goes, again, could not be easier if you tried. They like distilled water, reverse osmosis, or rainwater. However, unlike most carnivorous plants, they can handle an extremely high parts per million, where a Venus flytrap may only be able to handle at the top end 50 parts per million. The Drosera Binata can handle 150 and sometimes much more. So they are very easy to grow in that regard as well. And then also you have to take into consider the amount of water. I've seen these things where the soil is just about bone dry, all the way to where it was completely submerged for months on end. Did not slow them down at all. They will continue to grow in any of those scenarios. And then the last thing, going back to divisions, when this pot fills up, all I have to do is grab it, pull it apart, haphazardly stick it in the ground, and you get new plants. No need to try to figure out where to pull them apart or any of that business. All you do is pull them apart, stick them in the ground, and they grow. So beyond ease, let's talk about the fun part of these plants. These plants are tiny here, but they can get very, very large. So this one is forking just a little bit, but large specimens can have 150 different forks, and the leaves can get to the size of dinner plates. Some varieties, like the Dichotoma giant, can get up to 4 feet wide by 4 feet tall in a single plant. And they are prolific at catching prey. Think about them as hunting in packs. While a single leaf can certainly catch a ton of prey in itself, it can catch a multitude of prey and even larger vertebrates because of them being so clustered together in sort of this web form. So they are able to catch a ton of prey. And then lastly, I'll leave you with this. Especially early in the morning, these plants are some of the most beautiful plants in all of nature. The dew that is on their leaves that gives them name sundews will literally glisten in the sun, especially on a cool, misty morning. It is quite the sight to see. Thousands and thousands of diamonds studying these plants. So for all of these reasons, and enough to fill up 2 or 3 more videos, this plant is the easiest and most fun to grow. And if you don't own one, you gotta get one. You're gonna fall in love, and before you know it, you will have a forest of them.